Good afternoon, students. Uh, ये last period in our previous period we have studied about the Alauddin Khilji. Understand or know that Alauddin Khilji, the founder of the Khilji dynasty was Ghiyasuddin. Founder of the Khilji dynasty, his uncle. Understand? Uncle now founded. And then after 1290 to 96, his uncle ruled over that, and after that, Alauddin now captured the throne by the murder, by the assassinating his uncle. Understand? He assassinated, or now very he hatched the conspiracy, or created the conspiracy, or then after he they killed him. Understand? Or then after got the throne in 1296 to Alauddin Khilji was a prominent ruler of the, or very practical ruler of the ruler of the Khilji dynasty. Understand? Or he ruled over the India in 1296 to 1300, sorry, 1216, 96 to 1360. He ruled over the India, and here we see, and during this time it ruled, but the Alauddin was a very practical, or a then or a, he had certain reforms he made, or he was very strong ruler. Or Alauddin first achievements was that he was the first sultan. Alauddin was the first sultan who extended the empire up to the southern tips of the southern India. Now we know that very well without the these Muslims ruler is sultans only around the centered around the centered around the northern India first of all. But allowed, and the Devgiri sometimes they raided towards the southern India and looted some of the state and then back to India. But Alauddin was the first sultan, understand, who now penetrated the territories of the up to the Tamil Nadu, where he now gifted of the two brothers, Veer Pandya and the Sundar Pandya. And this campaign was now sent, or the sent under the command of the, under the one of the his general, in the command of his general. Understand? Or he now just the entire Malik Kafur, that the general was Malik Kafur, or when he had attack on the Khambat, just a Khambat Bay, so from where, from the Khambat Bay, from where he just captured the Malik Kafur, and he was a very trusted slaves, and later on became the commander of the Alauddin Khilji. And Alauddin now sent the most of the, and most of the southern Indians campaign he made under the Malik Kafur, and Malik Kafur now got the success in the capturing the up to the Tamil Nadu. Veer Pandya and Sundar Pandya both now they accepted the sovereignty of the Delhi Sultanate. That was the. So now you have to see that the first day, very brief. I will not go in detail. Here I am talking that Alauddin now captured the southern part of the entire India. Understand? And he was the first sultan that he formed first time the standing army in India. Understand? He set up the standing army. So standing army he set up in India. This now established the standing army, or paid his army in cash. Understand? In cash, or 4,50,000 standing army at the Delhi. Why? Why did he so? Because the frequent and spate of attacks were being made from the made from from the northwest frontiers. Mongols were frequently now attacking upon that. It is said that once the Mongols, more than the 2 or 3 lakhs Mongols suddenly encircled the entire Delhi. Understand? Entire Delhi was circled by the Mongols. So now it was a very harsh time for the or the very hard time to what to do. Some of the novels of the Alauddin Khilji, they now advised him to leave, advised him to leave the Delhi and escape the Mongols. But he was a man of very determination, and now he now denied and refused to leave the Delhi. Or then what happened? Alauddin Khilji now he came down for the battle and fought so bravely or gallantly that the Mongols were scattered and they were bound to just bound to withdraw their force from here. And moreover, one of his commanders was the Jafar Khan. Jafar Khan was a very strong commander, and he was deploying in the northwest frontiers, where he was fighting the Mongols. And the Jafar Khan was so brave commander that even the Mongols, so furious and horrible, you have studied in your class 11, is so horrible. They were afraid of the Jafar Khan. Jafar Khan had the so terror. Why? Whenever their horses denied to take up the water, denied to take up the water, the Mongol used to say this proverb: "Have you seen the Alauddin? Sorry, have you seen the Jafar Khan? That's why you are not taking up." The soul of the terror was terror of the Jafar Khan was prevalent amongst the Mongol, but ultimately he was killed in the battlefield, fighting against the Mongols. Now it is said that now he shortened his very army or brigades. Most of these armies killed, but only few armies. He was just fighting against the Mongols, but he could not get the supply of the more army or the more army were not sent. Understand that that's why he was fought by the Mongols from all sides, and he was the same. Understand? So now Jafar Khan's got ended in this way. Understand? Or moreover, Alauddin had the one of the reforms. He is known in the history of India for the market policy. Alauddin Khilji had made the market reforms. Reforms means that now in the Delhi he had appointed an officer, the Sahnai Mandi, called the officer Sahnai Mandi, and moreover the all the commodities list of entire commodities, important commodities, has been written down and has been put up on the notice and determined or fixed, or prices of the entire commodities had been fixed by the Alauddin Khilji. And now, and it was the Delhi and around, and the farmers and the suppliers had to supply these goods or the things to the Alauddin Khilji's this market, and that is why market was so cheap and so controlled. Rates were so controlled. It is said that now whosoever now try to cheat the customers, understand. So now as much as they had way less way, so much flesh from their body was taken out. And even he had many channels of the intelligence. And he had now established many channels. Even the children were sent in the market for, and seeing the children's little children's, the shopkeepers now found the very easy to cheat them, easy to deceive them, and now way, well, leisure. As a result, these reports were now found. The reports were given to Sultan, and Sultan now ordered to take out the flash as so much as as the shopkeepers had village. This kind of the practice was there, and so now in every house. Now he Alauddin knew very well that nobles were conspiring against him. Always conspired, had the conspiracy, and they had the relations. They uh, used to organize the parties, nights parties, and where they conspired and has the conspiracy against the sultans. So that's why Alauddin banned and restricted, laid the ban upon all the meetings and the ceremonies or the parties organized at the nights. He banned the even the wine was he banned because the taking the drink now people were now going beyond their limits and organized the hatching the conspiracy against the sultan. So he banned the wine. He now, or moreover, uh, in every noble's house, there now he harbored he used to harbor the Omen, used to harbor Omen, Omen jasus, and the Omen intelligence, say, and the worker scavengers. They used to go enter in the houses, and from there, each and every reports was given to the Baride Malik. Baride, the intelligence head of the intelligence department, was given this report, and this report was sent to the Sultan against that or the about the that all the activities. So now he was very conscious of the intelligence system, and students. Moreover, Alauddin had now just established the standing army. Or second thing was he had the market policy, and now third his achievements was to he conquered the entire southern India under the control of the Delhi. Understand Delhi, or his achievements were much just remarkable, or or market system. Those market system which now the present day government is trying to control. The Alauddin Khilji had now control this system, control these corruptions in the market or discrepancies in the market in those times. Understand? So the Alauddin Khilji had the much achievements, or he had achieved achievements. He had the or established one of the strong sultanate in the India. Understand? Or now he had the second after the Alauddin, Qutbuddin Mubarak Shah ruled for a very one thing is that Alauddin Khilji had the one project in his mind, one project. Understand? Or he did not take the he didn't take the any advice from the any officers. One officer was the Kotwal of Delhi. Only one a very Fakhruddin. He was a very old man, and from him he used to talk and take the certain advice, some advice. Understand? So then, or once he had the mind in the project, a project in his mind. What the project was? Now he wanted to wanted to conquer the whole world. This was the project in the minds. Wanted to conquer the whole world. But the Fakhruddin now advised him that Jahapana, still you have to be the conquer the most of the part of the Indian territories. Indian. So the first of all, we should do that. Second, he wanted to build build a just a minar or minarets higher than the Qutub Minar. Understand? And he got started, but he could not fulfill this project because because of in the sudden demise of the Alauddin Khilji. It is said that he died of a dropsy disease. Dropsy is a kind of disease. That's why he died of that. Understand? So Alauddin now died of this dropsy. Understand? Or a 1300 just a 16. 1316 he died, Alauddin, or his project could not be the fulfilled. He wanted more higher, much higher than the Kutubuddin minutes. Understand? Next day, Kutubuddin Mubarak Sahib, not so remarkable rule is that. So after that, Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq now formed the Tughlaq dynasty. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, he was the father of the Muhammad Tughlaq, or now, uh, or he was a very gentle ruler and not so remarkable. But once it is said that Muhammad bin Tughlaq, after him, Muhammad bin Tughlaq ascended on the throne. Understand? But it is said that, or it is remarked that the Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq Shah, understand, was gently, or he now loved and had the very affection to his one of the son. Understand? He had the one of the other son to whom he now much preferred. Understand? After him, he wanted to put him on the throne. This his son on the throne. But once it is said that Muhammad bin Tughlaq is he had now killed his father. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was killed. He had got the murder him, but it is the now conflict among the historian that whether it is the fact or not. This is the conflict. Understand? So now here you can see that one this incident is what how the historians now say that such kind of incidents happened. It is said that in Bengal a rebellion occurred there. Now he or Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq marched to suppress this rebellion along with his army. Understand? Army, he mobilized his army towards the towards towards the Bengal, and after this uh, suppressing this revolt, understand, then he had to back to the Delhi. Understand? If now there was a strain, there was a conflict between the Muhammad bin Tughlaq and the Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. There was a conflict, and Muhammad bin Tughlaq now wanted to grab the power. Understand? So now in this matter fact, what happened when the Sultan was had come from after the after the uh, uh, suppressing this revolt. After suppressing revolt, when he coming back, understand, the very what he saw, where the Muhammad bin Tughlaq proposed in the commemoration of the victory, he organized apart from Delhi and exhibitions of the elephants running. Understand? Or some exhibitions of the horses running and like that was organized commemorating this victory on behalf of the Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Understand? So now this Sultan, as and he had no any doubt about that. Any conspiracy is going to be the hatched against him and happen. So now, in the meantime, what happened? He came, understand, or and this was the organized. He was now with his son, preferred son. He was now in the tent, understand, taking the rest there. But suddenly, one of the elephants now pushed at the certain point, and the now a strong push was given there, or as a result, what happened? The entire tent entire tent was down, it just come down, and the now fallen down, or under this understand, the Sultan and his son now died, and it was seen that the Sultan was seen as protecting his son. Understand, like that, or his son protecting his son, but they could not. This was the made at the such point, such way that the both the Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq and his son now died in that. After that, Muhammad bin Tughlaq ascended on the throne of the Delhi. Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and he ruled from 1325 to 51, 1351. Understand? So the Muhammad bin Tughlaq, as he came on the throne, after the this coming on the throne, okay, the Muhammad bin Tughlaq became certain some of the achievements I am going to, and his success or failures I am going to tell a very brief way. I will tell you. First, Muhammad bin Tughlaq is supposed to be the mad. Some historians have said him he was a mad sultan. Some historians now said that now he was a he no he was a very intelligent or very reformist, and he innovative as sultan. He had made the many of the innovations. Understand? So now from this point of view, there are so many contradiction about this Muhammad bin Tughlaq. But actually, he was a very intelligent or very intellectual man, no doubt. He was a very intellectual or and a intellectual. So let's see. The first reforms the Muhammad bin Tughlaq was first his project was he wanted to transfer his capital from Delhi to Dolatabad. First, Delhi to Dolatabad. So this transformation or shifting of the capital. The reason first we shall have the question. Na? Why sir? Why then? The question was that some of the historians now say that Mongols were a spate of attack were being done from the Mongol sides. Understand? Or Delhi was very near to the northwest frontiers, so he wanted to uh, 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 make safe his capital and wanted to now set up his capital apart from there. First reason. Second reason is that now where it was said by it is said by the historians that he wanted to punish the people of Delhi, citizen of Delhi. He wanted to punish them. Understand? This reason was that, and moreover, punish them. Some said that no, Daulatabad is situated in the central India, exact in the central point of India. So he wanted to make from there, he wanted to make this place as a seat of administration. From there, he could now control the smoothly or proficiently the administration of the whole India. He could govern very smoothly the whole India. So that's why he had now wanted to establish there. So now this is the story of that. He ordered Ziauddin Barni, who had now criticized a lot of his this action or this transfer of the capital. He was a very historian, very prominent historian, or at his court. Understand? So because his father and mother and himself had to suffer from this transfer of the capital, so he ordered, and now all people now march towards the Dolatabad. Understand? Or now he had written that he at the evening. Understand? Sultan now just ascended uh, on his fort, on his palace, and from there he watched very carefully whether from any whether whether from smoke is now rising from any house where someone is now still residing and dwelling in Delhi. Now he now watched from the top of his palace. Now he did not found any smokes rising from any house. Then after he became the satisfied, or it is said that all have to be the go. On the way, the entire citizen of Delhi has suffered a lot, or now suffered a lot. Or ultimately, it is said that some of them now reached there forcibly. They were dragged, they were tied with the tails of the horses and with the legs of the elephant. And some of there it is find that Some's hands only reached, some's head only reached, some's body only reached, dead body reached there. So this kind of the situation are there, and after that living there some time, then after again he now ordered to be the march to the Delhi. So this is the called Delhi to Dolatabad, or a or it is said Ziauddin Barni had said that written that he wanted to punish the citizen of Delhi because they used to write the letters to him. Now many kind of the teasing letter to him. That's why he was the very much irritated by the these writings, and that's why he wanted to punish the Delhi Delhites. First thing. Second is here we see that a second invention or innovative act he now new coin. He introduced the new coin. Understand? Or this coin was introduced, or the now or what happens now? This project was also failed. This new coin he minted, got minted, but what happened later on? Ziauddin Barni had said that every house became the mint house. It means that everyone started the minting the similar to that state mint, state coins he had introduced, and later on, as this again this project was suspended, this project was withdrawn. So then after the people, large number of the people, muster strong reach at the gate of the Sultan that to get the submit their this coin and took the silver coins from there and gold coin from there. So this is the project which failed before, and moreover, next next project of the Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the from the increase the tax in the Doaba, tax in the Doab. Understand Ganga and Jamna Doab. It was a very fertile lands there, or he increased the tax for the fulfillment is his coffers. Not coffer for the maintaining the vast army. He had now led the many campaigns and the expeditions to conquer. So now for that he required the money and the tax. So he increased the 50% tax upon laid the tax upon the farmers. So the farmers there the revolted, and they left their villages and now took the shelter in the jungles. And the where now what happened after that he became very angry, and now he ordered his army to march towards the Doaba, where what happened? He now attacked upon the farmers who were hiding in the jungles. And it is said that in the jungle, these now uh, farmers were killed like the animals. They were hunted. Farmers were just like the hunted. They were hunted in the jungles like the animals. And this was the another project of the Muhammad bin Tughlaq, which failed. Understand? So now it is said that he was a very intellectual man, and he was not mad. He was called mad because he thought beyond the that contemporary time. He far beyond. His thoughts was far beyond from uh, that conservative that conservative time, that backwards time. His thought was very advanced. So that's why he used to be the called as the his thoughts never matched with the matched with those times. That's why he was called as the he was a man. But actually he was not mad. He was a very intellectual, but he was a very furious and the very fickle minded. For what he had no precision, for what wrongs, what kind of the how much punishment should be the awarded for which wrongs, it was not known to him. For a little bit wrongs, the much punishment, even the sentence this was given, and for a much crime, heinous crime, the persons were given a little punishment. So this precisions he was the liking there. Understand? So now here the Muhammad bin Tughlaq some of the reforms and the innovation. I am going very briefly, not required here to go fast, go the beyond. And now Muhammad bin Tughlaq ruled, and after that the Firoz Shah Tughlaq came on. It is said that his mother was a Hindu, understand, or just the Goldsmith belonged to the Goldsmith family. His mother, or he ruled over the India, and now he is known for the maintaining the 1,80,000 slaves he maintained under his control. Understand? And these slaves were deployed at the for the agriculture, for the workshops, for the small factories like that. Understand? So he is the known for. The second thing is that he had now got dug the many canals for the irrigation. You know, but one thing is that he is known for the very furious against the Hindu community. Now it is said that he had got burnt a Brahmins only at the word. He told that Islam and the Hindus are the equal. For that he punished him the sentence death, burnt alive. This is the said that he was a very much just stern towards the Hindu and very, or he now appointed many of the nobles and the nobles and given away the ikta and the estates to the his nobles. Understand? And after the Firoz, during the after the decline of Firoz Shah, Taimur now attacked in the 1398-99. He looted the Delhi. Taimur looted because the rulers and after the death of the Firoz Shah, the rulers were the very weaker. Tughlaq rulers became the very weaker, and they were not in position to save their kingdoms. Understand? They could not in the position of protecting their kingdoms. Understand? That's why Taimur now his attack happened in 1498 to the 99 during this time, or in the Punjab area and the others area, the Taimur had established his own empire. Or this was the Taimur's victory, which now led the Babur and now make the Babur's claim to attack on India. Understand? This was the claim. On now, following this claim, the Babur had advanced towards the India because the Taimur already had kept under the control of the under his control the Punjab or the north area of the northeast frontiers. Understand? Now, students, I suppose today we should wind up with, and the later we shall other dynasty, okay, or a two or three dynasty I will mention. Then after the Mughal dynasty, it will be the later on. Let have the few chapters to be the finished. Understand? Then after the Mughal history, after a few sultans I will talk, and then after the 1526, the first battle of the Panipat, advent of the Mughals in India will start. So these before the Mughals, these rulers had or the sultans had ruled, and a few sultans I have teach. Then after we shall come to our study. We shall start our book study. Understand? Study explanation of the books and like that. Okay. Thank you very much.